Imagine being so quiet that your own voice surprises even you. That was Emily until the day she was pushed too far, and her silence shattered, leaving her bullies begging for mercy. In a world where cruelty often goes unchecked, one girl's quiet strength turned the tables in just 30 seconds. This is her story. Lincoln High School was like any other high school in America, a place where friendships were forged, dreams were chased, and cliques ruled the social hierarchy. Among its students was Emily Thompson, a girl so quiet that she seemed almost invisible. With her head always buried in a book and her clothes slightly out of fashion, Emily blended into the background like a shadow. She preferred it that way. Attention was something she avoided at all costs. But invisibility came with a price. It made her an easy target for those who thrived on power and control. Brittany Carter was the undisputed queen of Lincoln High, with her perfectly styled hair, designer clothes, and a smile that could charm. Or cut like a knife, she ruled the school with an iron fist. Her followers, Sarah, Lisa, and Mia, were loyal to a fault, feeding off her confidence and cruelty. Brittany had a knack for spotting weaknesses, and Emily's quiet nature was like a beacon to her. From the moment Emily transferred to Lincoln High at the start of sophomore year, Brittany had made it her mission to make her life miserable. It started with small things, snide comments about Emily's outdated wardrobe, mocking her for not having a smartphone like everyone else, or accidentally knocking her books off her desk. Emily endured it all with stoic silence, believing that if she ignored them long enough, they would lose interest. But Brittany was relentless, and her followers were quick to join in, laughing at Emily's expense whenever they could. Emily's life outside of school was no less challenging. Her older brother, Jake, had always been her rock. 2 years her senior, Jake was everything Emily wasn't: outgoing, athletic, and popular. He was the star quarterback of the football team, and his locker was always surrounded by admirers and friends. Despite their differences, Emily and Jake were inseparable. He was her protector, her confidant, and her biggest cheerleader, but everything changed on a rainy Friday night in October. Jake was driving home from a football game when a drunk driver ran a red light and T-boned his car at an intersection. The impact was catastrophic. Jake was rushed to the hospital with severe injuries, including a traumatic brain injury that left him in a coma. The doctors weren't optimistic about his chances of recovery. Emily's world shattered. She spent every spare moment at the hospital, sitting by Jake's bedside, reading to him from his favorite books, hoping that her voice would somehow reach him through the darkness. Her parents were equally devastated. Her mother barely left. Jake sighed, while her father worked double shifts at the local garage to cover the mounting medical bills. At home, the once vibrant Thompson household became a place of quiet despair. At school, Emily's grief made her an even easier target for Brittany and her clique. Her grades began to slip as her mind was consumed with worry for Jake and her usual quiet demeanor turned into a near-total withdrawal from social interaction. The bullies sensed her vulnerability and pounced. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the leaves turned golden and the air grew crisp, Emily found herself alone in the girls' bathroom after the final bell. She had stayed back to help her English teacher, Mr. Thompson, organize the classroom library, a task she enjoyed because it allowed her to be around books without the pressure of social interaction. As she washed her hands, the door swung open, and in walked Brittany, followed by Sarah, Lisa, and Mia. They were laughing about something, their voices echoing off the tiled walls. "Oh, look who's here," Brittany said, her eyes locking onto Emily's reflection in the mirror. The little bookworm. Emily's heart sank. She quickly dried her hands and tried to slip past them, but Brittany blocked her path. "Not so fast," Brittany said, a malicious grin spreading across her face. "We have some unfinished business." Emily swallowed hard. "I don't want any trouble," she said softly. Brittany laughed. Trouble? Oh honey, trouble found you a long time ago. The other girls snickered, closing in around Emily like wolves circling their prey. Remember last week when you accidentally bumped into me in the hallway? Brittany asked, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Emily shook her head. It was an accident. I said I was sorry. Sorry isn't good enough, Brittany snapped. You need to learn your place. Before Emily could react, Brittany grabbed her by the arm and pushed her towards the toilets. Since you like to be so clean and proper, maybe you should get a taste of what real life is like. The girls laughed as Brittany forced Emily's head towards the toilet bowl. Drink, she commanded. Emily's eyes widened in horror. No, please, she begged, her voice trembling. But Brittany was unmoved. Drink, or I'll make sure everyone knows what a freak you are. Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as she knelt by the toilet, her hands shaking. Just as she was about to give in, a memory flashed through her mind, her brother Jake, lying in the hospital bed, tubes and machines keeping him alive. She had visited him that morning, and the doctors said he might not make it through the night. With that thought, something inside Emily snapped. She couldn't let these girls break her, not when her family was already falling apart. She stood up abruptly, surprising even herself. No, she said firmly, her voice louder than she had ever heard it. Brittany blinked, taken aback. What did you say? I said no, Emily repeated, her eyes blazing with a fire she didn't know she possessed. You want me to drink? From the toilet? Fine, but first, let me tell you something. The girls exchanged confused glances as Emily continued. My brother is in the hospital. He was in a car accident, and he might die. I've been visiting him every day after school, praying that he'll pull through. And you think it's funny to make me do this? The bathroom fell silent. Brittany's smirk faded, replaced by a look of uncertainty. Sarah, who had always been the most empathetic of the group, spoke up. Emily, I didn't know. That's terrible. But Brittany tried to regain control. So what? That doesn't change anything. You're still a loser. Emily shook her head. No, it changes everything. Because while you're busy trying to make me feel small, my family is fighting for my brother's life. And I realize now that your cruelty is just a mask for your own insecurities. Brittany's face turned red with anger. How dare you, but. Before she could finish, Emily's phone rang. She pulled it out of her pocket and answered it. Mom, is everything okay? There was a pause, and then Emily's face lit up. He's awake? Oh, thank God. The bullies watched as Emily's expression changed from despair to joy. She hung up the phone and looked at them with a newfound strength. My brother just woke up from his coma, she said, her voice steady. He's going to be okay. Brittany shifted uncomfortably. That's good for you, I guess. But Emily wasn't done. You know, I could tell everyone what you tried to make me do. I could show them how cruel you really are. Brittany's eyes widened in panic. You wouldn't. Emily smiled, a rare sight. Or, I could forgive you if you promised to leave me and everyone else alone from now on. The bullies nodded frantically. Yes, we promise, Brittany said, her voice shaking. And you'll apologize to everyone you've bullied, Emily added. They agreed. And from that day on, the bullying stopped. Emily's quiet strength had turned the tables, and the bullies learned that kindness is stronger than cruelty. But the story didn't end there. Emily, inspired by her own experience, started an anti-bullying club at school. To everyone's surprise, Sarah joined, and even Brittany eventually came around, seeking redemption for her past actions. Emily's brother made a full recovery, and their family grew stronger through the ordeal. As for Emily, she found her voice, not just in standing up to bullies, but in speaking out for those who couldn't. And so, the quiet girl who was once cornered became a beacon of hope for many, proving that even the smallest voice can make the loudest impact.